Peace, boss. How you doing, man?
Oh, peace. What's
Big
going
Wise.
on? What's up, fellas? How y'all feeling today?
I'm
How y'all
good,
feeling
man.
out there?
That's the anthem right there. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good, man. I was talking to the brothers, man, and letting them know that I'm happy for y'all, to be here. And I'm happy to even talk to y'all because y'all legends in the game. If no one don't respect that, I know what's going on. You know what I mean? Golden
Thanks a
era.
lot.
Yeah, man. So this is Wise on y'all. He just came in. So
Yo,
now we gonna
peace.
peace to the world. We're gonna start off now. I just seeing my first time seeing Stetsasonic, man, was at the Spectrum in Philly.
Really?
Oh,
Mm,
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
so I told you I'm taking it back, man. So that's my first time really seeing y'all, man, and y'all ripped the stage and everything in there, man. And I just wanted to know, how did the group come together? I know that everybody is not here. How did the group come together, man?
I mean, it's like we went through so many iterations of it. Basically, a few of us got together. The original core unit was me, Wise, and Delight. And we used to just go around doing shows and doing contests. Me and Delight would do
Okay.
the routine, Wise would do the human mix machine thing. Then we
Yeah.
started winning some of those contests. But all along that time, we was like in touch with like certain people who made music and that was down. So um, like DBC came from a guy me and Delight knew. Me and Bobby been friends for like forever from Brownsville, like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I guess when Delight and I decided to push the button, that's when we basically core formulated who we have. But we got a lot of people, man. Stetsasonic is there's some extended arms at Stetsasonic because there's a couple of MCs, a couple of people that used to be around. I mean, they still our family and everything. They just like kind of didn't make the record group, so to speak. You know what I
Okay.
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. We the original skinny boys.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. You're going back.
right when Fat Boys came out, you know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
they came out like a year before we did, and it was me, Daddy on the light. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Oh,
following year, entering the following rap contest, and we won first, second, and third prize. You know what I'm
wow.
saying? And
Wow. Wow. Okay.
when I started emulating Buff, the crowd went nuts.
Wait. So what year did y'all start? Because was the Fat Boys 82, 84, something like that? What
They
year?
they they dropped before we did.
yeah,
You know
Fat Boys
they
was 83.
yeah, Fat Boys came out before we did, but you know, at one time when we won that rap contest, it was me, Daddy on Delight did get a contract from Sugar Hill Records, but we declined it. We didn't sign.
Oh, why not, man? If you don't mind me asking.
It the contract was pure garbage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it was pure garbage. I mean,
It was a
I'm
hundred.
being
It was a hundred
straight up.
dollars for 6 people.
Yeah, it was yeah,
That's a
it
hundred
was pure
dollars.
garbage.
Days.
Wow.
It was
Wow,
it was a
man.
bad, it was a bad contract, man.
That was robbery, man. That
Yeah,
was straight
yeah.
robbery.
My son told me that you boys was fantastic, Daddy. Yo,
Wow,
No,
man.
that's not it, Bobby. Bobby, this is it, Bobby. The kids is raving about y'all. The
Wow,
kids is
man.
raving about y'all.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
man. That's deep, man.
we're
Yeah,
talking about
it was the
Robinson from
contract was
Sugar Hill Records.
terrible. It was
That,
terrible.
that, that's what we emulate Sylvia Robinson from Sugar Hill Records.
So what year did y'all go to? Then y'all with the Tommy Boy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Afterwards. And what year was that? That the group with the Tommy Boy?
That was
That was
85.
at 85, yeah.
Yeah, that was 85.
Cause we
Okay.
we waited like about a whole year and a half, something like that, to get a new contract.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And also y'all was the first hip hop group that ever played live instruments in your music, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No. Because we want to make sure that it's correct. We knew that guys like Larry Smith and all those cats, the Orange Crush crew were the musicians who were playing on a lot of Curtis Blow records. Uncle Larry wound up doing Houdini. So those were musicians who were playing on. They were doing musical instrumentation songs for that rappers wrote their lyrics to. We were
Okay.
actually the first original hip hop band. Prior to us, there was no rap act who was considered a band with a DJ,
Okay.
keyboard player, and a drummer, a stripped down version of a regular funk or rock or R&B band.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure it's clear to everybody that we weren't the first group to play instruments on our record. We were the first act to form as a stripped down hip hop band. Yes, we are.
Well, I know for sure that when y'all started doing the instruments, I know that the roots, everybody else start picking that up because I know
Yeah,
Right.
like
the roots. Yeah. The roots was like 12 years old when we was when we was doing it. They're like 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? So they were junior high school when they heard the On Fire album. You know what I'm saying? In the Blood Squid, I mean, in the Info Gear album. So yeah,
Yeah.
but we appreciate those guys because Quest and them every time Daddy on us when we turn around, Amir's always shouting us out and giving us love. He actually posted something a couple of months back that I reposted that he was talking to our DJ Prince Paul about Stetsasonic show that Stetsasonic did. So he's always reminding people that
okay.
we were the original first hip hop band.
Okay, yeah. So was Prince Paul was he producing some of the albums, or was he? Because I want to know what role did he play when he was involved
So
with the group?
so so the original Stetsasonic records, and especially on Fire. Um, Not to sound weird, but Stetsasonic is more like a factory of chemists, right?
Okay,
So like there's all these people, and we all around, and we all got ideas, and all of those particular things. So we really, it might sound like it's facade, but it's true. We really kind of mesh just energies. So we were all doing pretty much everything. Um, Paul definitely had a whole bunch of influence. On certain songs, Paul would be more influential. Another song, Wise would be more influential. Another song, Bobby be more influential. Another song, like what I mean. It's
teamwork.
it's it's always like that kind of situation. But we would, when I say it's like a factory of chemists, we were still defining sound. We were still defining sonics. We were still defining what it was going to sound like for us to put something on wax and to go into a club, and whether or not it was going to bang the club out and sound whack or wasn't going to be mixed right and all that. So we really was working real hard. So I mean, Paul was right there with us, man. It's like we was digging railroad tracks or some bullshit, man. It's
Yeah, but
real.
Daddy-O, give him the real truth, man. Tell them so these cats in the South, well, they already know because they got love for Stetsasonic because a lot of them are your boys out there in the South. But give him the real deal on what Prince Paul contribute in that whole South sound with On Fire.
Well, Paul is the father of the 808. Before Luke, before all of them,
Okay,
Paul did
808.
the tributes in the 808. Like the On
Yeah.
Fire record was ahead of its time. So much ahead of its time that when we played Miami, it was like they wasn't familiar with us. But when they found out we was a group that sang On Fire, we actually had to change our set in Miami to
Wow.
perform On Fire
On
because
Fire, yeah.
Paul took that 808, switched it around, and did all
To a
that stuff
whole
they
yeah.
doing now. That boom, boom. That was even
Yeah.
before Rick Rubin and the Beastie Boys.
Wow. So y'all
You
basically trendsetters, man. Y'all set some things
Well, yeah,
off.
I mean I mean, when you got a bunch of guys, man, like the guys that I roll with, and you got them all in the room together, something gonna happen. Ain't nobody sitting around, like my mama would say, playing tiddlywinks. You know what I mean? Something gonna happen, man. So, that's what we pride ourselves in, being able to be a collective and make things happen as a collective, and um that's part of the if you want to say magic. I don't really like that word too much, but that's part of the magic, right? To
Yeah.
For us to be able to get together, all of us, and be able to contribute, and you know, it might be a hi-hat from somebody or vocalizing from somebody or somebody else saying, you know, let's stick in the bass line. I mean, we don't know where it's going to come from. We just go for it. You know what I mean? And then we all there for each other on that corrective tip. If it don't feel right, it's like, yo, that wasn't your best, whatever. You know what I mean? But that within itself, man, is I feel like an accomplishment because, you know, when hip hop began, I can't say when hip hop began, but when we began to know this music, right,
Yeah,
that we would
yeah.
call it hip hop, there was a lot of groups. You know, there was a Furious Five, there was a Fantastic Five,
Sugar
there
Hill
was the
Gang.
Fearless Four, there was just people, there was groups, right? And so for us, being a group was not you know, we didn't count it robbery to be a group. It was a dope thing to be a group. And the solo artists was the ones with the hardest time back then, right, Wise?
Mm-hmm.
So
Them
so it
solo
was
artists like Busy and them, they had to try to hold it down by themselves
By
with no,
themselves, yeah.
even Mo D, because people say whatever they want about Mo D. Mo D had a whole group. And both of them
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
And both of them dope. Sunshine dope, K dope. They both dope. He got a whole group.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Cat. Cat's nice as hell, but Cat's got a whole group. He got JL in them.
Wow. Yeah, and because it was all y'all together, right?
Right.
How do y'all describe the music y'all made? Because I hear reggae, I hear R&B, I hear jazz. How do you describe the music that y'all made? You know, back then. Like if you could put it all in one word.
Edutainment.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I gotta say that. I gotta say that's the word. Yeah.
Dope. That's dope. Yeah. Because y'all had a little bit of everything in it for
Yeah.
everybody. I
Yeah.
have your reggaeton, R&B. I mean, when I hear them albums, that's what it sounds like. A whole bunch of different genres in your music. You know? So which means y'all could perform with anybody, basically.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
When I remember when one time we was on the road with rock bands, right, Daddy O?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We was
Yeah.
on the road with rock bands, and you know what I'm saying, because since we was a band ourselves, we was a hip hop band. We was able back then. We was able to get on those type of tours too.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was
I
that,
mean,
man? Like, yeah, go ahead, Daddy.
no, go ahead, ask the question because I know it's gonna go to the same place.
No, I was saying, how was that, man? Like with the rock band, you know, just having being on tour with them. How was that, man?
I mean, for us, man,
Seeing some
you know,
stuff, it was bananas. You see guys diving head first, you know, into the crowd, and the crowd moving, and they landing on their head and stuff.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah, that's what they do at the shows,
wow,
man.
the craziest thing is, yo, B, you remember the concert and what was it, Beverly? What was that, Beverly Hills, B?
Which one?
Mhm.
Which concert was that? It was us, Fishbone, Living Color, and
Living
Public Enemy.
Color, Public Enemy.
Oh, wow. You took it back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Living Color, Public Enemy.
you remember that gig, B?
Yeah. But that's the one when the fight broke out, right? Where
Yeah,
PE
that's
was
the
on.
first time I ever seen somebody get a TV punch. I'm talking about knocked out cold and fall flat on his back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one of the acts got knocked out, man.
No, it wasn't no act.
Nah.
It was two guys in the crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
Rumbling. Wow.
Yeah, it was some, you know, but yeah, man, I mean, as musicians, we like playing a lot of places. I mean, wise to tell you, man, we go back to a time where we were performing in friggin' piano clubs
Wow.
Yeah.
in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Carnegie Hall. We come from that. We come from the concept of performance first. I remember, because remember we got our record deal through a contest. We didn't get our
Yeah,
record
yeah.
deal because we shopped the demo.
Yeah,
Got our record
yeah.
deal through a contest. So think about it. I remember when we were charged to do this record, like when we were assigned to do this record, I remember a lot of not knowing what to do.
Okay.
because now it's like it's not the stage anymore. It's not performing. It's not the routines anymore. We literally got to go in the studio and like make this thing happen.
Mm.
You know, so anything outside of that, the only thing we was unfamiliar with was the studio. That touring, it don't matter if it's a rock band, lock band, sock band, folk band. Stetsasonic gonna kill anyway.
Whoever.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
You know what
What's
I'm
a
saying?
what's
We
a rock
came
band,
in
D?
on that.
I ain't no
Say again,
formula
B?
rock band. What's a rock band, D?
I mean, I'll tell you one thing that I think was dope. What I think is dope. I tell this story a lot. We went to the Cap Center.
Where's that
Oh,
at?
Not
DC.
we went to
DC.
Cap Center in DC, and
DC.
we performed with Rare Essence,
Chuck Brown,
Junkyard Band.
Soul
Yeah,
Searchers.
Chuck, God bless the dead, was there. You know, and I mean that I'm talking about if you know anything about go-go, that joint was turned out
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
on the go-go. And we came on stage with that whom go y'all tired yet? Is y'all ready to quit now? I'm telling you, we killed that, yo. You
Y'all
know, so
even
we
use
got it.
go-go?
Huh?
Y'all even use go-go in the music also?
Yeah, man. I mean, we was
Yeah.
in a go-go place, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all
You know,
definitely
we're in a
versatile.
go-go place. You gotta give it to them. That's the whole benefit. The whole benefit of having a band
We
as an
adapt.
MC is like you could friggin' end up being James Brown. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's the beauty of James. The beauty of James versus kind of sort of everybody else that came out around James' time, even though they were
Yeah.
great performers. A lot of them were locked into a performance. They was locked in. Whatever they practice, they got to do it exactly the way they practice it. If they don't, things will probably go off. James can move that thing around because of that band. And that's the
Right.
same thing with Stetsasonic. That's the part that be feeling real good. Like we can move that, man. Like I was listening to some of the stuff from the new album today, man. I was like, man, you know, we be moving that music around.
Now with the new album, is back on the jazz or is it more of what's going on today? Did y'all keep it like how
I
y'all?
don't know. Hey, Wise, can you describe the new album?
Um.
Yeah.
Wow. For Stetsasonic, it's different. It's
Okay.
different for us. You know. I think this album will surprise a lot of people.
Okay. Okay.
You
Okay.
What
know
you
it.
think, Bobby? How would you describe the album so far, Bobby?
This new album is definitely people that's familiar with Stetsasonics first, second, and third album. Um, we haven't changed a bit. We've upgraded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've upgraded.
Yeah. We
But,
reinvented ourselves, so to say.
yeah,
We reinvented ourselves.
Okay.
but we still keep the idea of being very musical with what we
Yeah.
do. Like Daniel said, this album does move around. That's one of the things that we learned working with a lot. The first thing we gotta tell everybody too that's watching this is that we worked in the studio with a lot of great engineers and with a lot of great artists that we produced,
That's my
and
next.
we worked in good studios. So we learned. I mean, me and Daddy was talking about this the other day, man. And I was telling Daddy, I said, "Yo, man, I miss Bob Coulter. Bob Coulter was an engineer. I was a Canadian dude
Okay.
that when he does we learned from him on how, and he learned from us too as well.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yo, man," I said, "the one thing that we gotta remember to do when we do this new album is put everything that we learned
Wow.
into
Right.
the album." And that's what
Yeah.
we did. That's exactly what we did. Even the people that's working with us, because we're not even really producing this album, but the people that's working with us, we're letting them know you gotta follow our. It's like following the yellow brick road. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying?
Yeah.
Y'all know what y'all want and y'all know how y'all like
Yeah.
it.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Exactly.
there's a guideline there, right? So music can be weird, right? Music can be weird, like to feel dated and stuff like that. Like that can happen with music. Like that can happen real quickly with music. And with certain
Exactly.
genres, it can happen easier than others. You know what I mean? Like it might be a little more difficult to sound dated with a country record now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Even though the country music done kind of moved up to the pop from once Taylor and them started popping. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? everybody else had to move that way too. You know, they sound a little more like Britney Spears right now. You know what I'm
You're not
saying?
the hip hop country now. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
And do y'all have any features?
we haven't discussed. I mean, we got a bunch of offers for features. I'll put it that way. We have a bunch of offers for features. We haven't really discussed it. We haven't really discussed features only because there's definitely, and I don't make it like all serious. We are having fun, but there's definitely a seriousness that's going into crafting this record. So you got to understand the band that you're dealing with, right? So you're not really dealing with a band that comes from the feature time, if that makes sense.
You're right. Because
you know what I mean?
You don't need it. Basically.
Did we do records with other people? Yes, Self-Destruction was the biggest feature in the world to date. No better features in the whole wide world in hip hop than Self-Destruction.
Wow, you're right. You're right. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we do come from a time that there are no features, so we haven't really thought about it because just crafting the records. I mean, damn, I don't want to sound like egotistical when I say we don't need them. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole because I'm an asshole anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, I think just making the records that we're making, we haven't really considered the features because we're working within the way the three of us sound vocally, meaning the three MC, the way we sound vocally, and then how the band. Like I was listening today, we did a cover song that Gamble and Huff made with the OJs called "Message in Our Music."
Okay, yeah,
right, and that is one record that is actually produced by C-Doc, but definitely like kind of it's a little more than co-produced. It's like kind of co-produced, directed, and arranged by Bobby, right? And we just played like the band just played the whole thing over. Wow. Like they just moved everything and just played everything over, and it came out so good. I'm listening to it. I'm like, wow, this really came out good. So, I mean, it's just an issue of that. Staying current sonically, knowing that what we do. No, are we rapping on any trap beats? No. Why? Because we just don't have to. We got heat. Like we sit in our heat. Like our heat would be heat to anybody. If 21 Savage heard it, it would be heat to him. We sitting on heat. You know what I mean? And that's what we go for. Like that's the one thing I love having these guys by my side because if I don't find it, one of them gonna find it.
Okay.
So I ain't by myself like, oh, I can't find it, man. Forget it. You know, it's like you lose something on the way to the store. You know, you grew up in them ghettos like we grew up in. You lose something on the way to the store. Mm-hmm. You know, you got brothers and sisters and stuff that help you out to go back and trace your steps. You probably find your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you gotta do it by yourself, then it's like you might not find it. You might even be so discouraged that you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that's so good about, being in a band of this magnitude is having help. That's the best way to put it, having help.
And we're not afraid to challenge ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the reason why we got into this business as songwriters and record producers. We're not afraid to challenge ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're not discouraged we listen to what everybody's doing and we like most of the stuff that everybody is doing. But we don't want to be a carbon copy of them. We actually we want to be inspired. Here's the thing, real quick. I'm gonna say this. This is us, and this is hip hop of the past. Everybody always say, well, when you guys was young, your parents were saying, that music is the difference between us and some of the generation of today is that we were inspired by our parents' music. We were inspired by it. That's the reason why you were able to get all these different hip hop acts that with different genres of sound. Whether it was Premier, whether it was the Bomb Squad, whether it was Eric Styler, whether it was Prince Paul, whether it was Marley Marl, we were all inspired by our parents' music.
That's right.
It's hard for me to sit and talk with my nieces and find out who they're inspired by to make music. To challenge themselves is what I'm saying.
You just answered the question that I was going to ask who inspired you guys, coming up to make the music. So,
Tell him,
like,
D. Tell him,
yeah,
T. Tell him, man, drum, bass, brass, construction, BT Express, new birth. Tell him, T. Slide Stone.
Sly
Tell
and the
him all
Family
of them.
Stone. Yeah.
Serious Five, Cold Crush, all those guys, man. They all
Yeah,
into that music.
it's so much. It's everybody original, right? So it's all of
Mm-hmm.
those guys, and it's the music, and it's the um um and it's the music of our parents, right? So when but again, man, I mean, let's talk about hip hop, right? Um, the way we started off in the parks, I say this all the time. The way we started off in the parks,
Oh,
there's James Brown playing on the turntable and us rapping on the top. There are no extra instruments. There are no nothing. It's just a DJ cutting James Brown. So we're rapping to Bobby Bird and all. Or we're rapping to Earth, Wind, and Fire, or we're rapping to Chic. But that's all it is. It's us rapping to the music,
the music
right?
over
That
top of it.
music, some of it was disco, some of it wasn't. So it might be Tanya Gardner, Heartbeat, or MFSB's Love is the Message, but we're rapping to the music. You understand? And that's basically hip hop. The music, I know, like people like, oh, hip hop's a culture and the rap is just the music, whatever they want to say. But hip hop as the music, that's hip hop. 2 turntables and a microphone. That's what we got. The difference, not the difference, the specialization, maybe that's a good word. The specialization of Stetsasonic is it's the same thing. It's 2 turntables and a microphone, but we're taking all of those elements that you use to make those records, and we're making them ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You understand what I'm trying to say? We got a drummer, we got a bass player, so we're making that stuff ourselves. We're still gonna rock it the same way, but we're just making it ourselves. That's all. You know what I
How do
mean?
you?
But
No, go ahead.
go ahead.
How did the group come together and write these songs? I mean, was there ever a time where somebody didn't have their lyrics on time, or somebody get writer's block? How did that happen with the group? And do you,
I think we approach, my opinion, and Wise could add on to this. I think we approach every song. It's not even every project, but I think we approach every song differently. There may be a song in terms of the styling or something like that Wise basically carves out first.
okay?
We got the track from whoever, the producer or whatever. We listening to it, and then Wise says, "Oh, this is good. This is the way we should rock it. This is how we're gonna carve out this particular joint." You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Sometimes we might be together and do it. Shit. Sometimes it might even come from like Bobby or whatever. You know what I mean? Um, that's how we that's how we work it out. We got to do it on a case by case basis. Did we ever have a situation where somebody didn't have their lyrics? No.
You're fading out. You're fading
Do
out.
we have situations where we do solo records? Yeah.
You're fading out,
um
Daddy. Yeah, there you
hmm?
go. You was fading out. There you
yeah
go.
I said, do we have some situations where somebody forgot their lyrics? No. But do we do like solo records and stuff like that? Yes. I think it's a case by case basis. I really do.
Okay.
We write it how we feel it. We tweak it after we write it. It may not be right. We figure it out. If it's a first, second, third type of thing with the 3 MCs, we figure out who's first, second, third. I mean, it's really a case by case basis on the writing. Like
Yeah.
we just have to. We just gotta we just have to see what it do. And let me say this. It's super duper interesting now because Stetsasonic is so self-contained that we're actually getting tracks from outside producers, like just outside of the fold,
Wow.
right? So that's
Okay.
kind of a newish kind of thingamajig for us. We're fortunate to have Bobby as basically who's always been the MD. You know, he's the MD of the band. So when that music comes in, it's almost like it's not so much that music is A&R'd, but that music is MD'd, if that even makes sense. But that's basically what happens when a producer. If you're a producer and you present a track for Stetsasonic, it may not in particular be.
You froze. Yeah, you just cut off, Daddy.
We just lost him. He
Yeah,
moving around.
you just cut off. But why? What's your take on on that also? But there you go. He back.
It it's like Daddy O was saying, it's dependent, like when the music is sent to me, and it's dependent on how I feel it out and stuff, because sometimes when the music is sent to me and me myself, I find the track really hype, I'm the first one to write.
Okay.
And I say, what y'all think about this? And the guys will be like, yeah, that's good, or let's do it this, and it just goes like that. You know what I'm saying? And it goes like that with any of us, when Daddy O feels, the same way about music, he's the first one to write. And then he says, what y'all think about this and stuff like that, and we and we get it going.
Okay. Did y'all keep it jazzy in this new album, or just straight beats from other people? Is there still a little bit of jazz in it?
I mean, I think with Stetsasonic, I noticed this with Stet, it's like you feel the jazz anyway.
Okay.
If that makes sense. If that don't even make
it's normal
like
because
Bobby. I was listening to Anniversary today. I know I've been listening to the radio version edit, but I listened to the long version of Anniversary today.
This one of your songs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Stetson Anniversary.
Stetson Anniversary.
Yeah, it's my 40th anniversary for On
When
Fire.
is it dropping? When a new album dropping? When is it coming out?
Well, we don't have a date yet, but we do have the second single prepared to be released sometime in June coming up.
Yeah,
Here we
we're
go
working
again.
on that. We're working on it right now. We're actually putting together the DJ packages for. It's actually the title cut from the album. It's called Here We Go Again, and we'll have those DJ packages out soon. The video should be done within the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, that we working on that. We're real happy about the next single. We really happy.
Yeah.
But now y'all giving up love is still out there. Don't let it
Yeah.
cool. Let it cool.
You know,
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask about that. Yeah. Who did the track for now? Now y'all giving up love.
Kevin Dean.
Okay.
yeah, that's Kevin Dean.
Kevin
Dean
Dean.
Street. The incomparable Dean Street.
Was it not difficult when y'all decided to come together and make this new album, knowing that there's a bunch of new rappers? I don't want to call it hip hop. I just say a bunch of new rappers. Was it difficult that y'all don't want to go that route, so y'all have your own style? So was it kind of hard to make this album knowing that y'all not doing what the other guys are doing? Y'all doing what Stets are doing. So was it a little difficult for y'all in the beginning, like knowing y'all gonna have to keep y'all same style, don't even try to be like what they doing today?
Nah. Like it's so crazy how it happened. Like I'm gonna tell the story, but I swear to God, I'm not making this up. It sounds like I'm making this shit up because it's true how it happened. So this is what happened. So I've been doing these records again. Like I started rapping again like 2016. So I've been putting out these records, doing videos with people, all that. And so we got a show coming up, and I can't remember which year it is, but we got a show coming up. It's in the Netherlands, and whenever we have any big kind of movement going on, we all convene in New York City and rehearse.
Okay.
Right? So we convene in New York City, rehearse. Prior to this time, because I'm making all these songs and all of that, people, constantly submit music to me for album stuff. So when I first heard the track for Now Y'all Giving Up Love, I told Kevin Dean, I said, this is a Stetsasonic record, and I'm not gonna listen to it again until I get with Stetsasonic. because if I do, I'm gonna take it for myself. So I know that it's a Stet record. I know I'm right. I know when the guys hear this, they're gonna automatically say, "Yep, D, this is a Stet record."
That's the one.
I swear to you, I didn't listen to the record. We got around each other. I played it. And the reaction was exactly what I thought.
Yeah, yeah. It was hot. It was hot.
And that for that, like, that's all you gotta really do with a band like Stetsasonic. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is like come with the right joints. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, are we hard and critical? You probably would say so. Is it difficult to please us? I don't think so, but I do think that you have to fit in a certain way because we don't know how far anything we make will go. For instance, when Bobby was talking in the beginning of the show, and he was talking about Philadelphia, and he was talking about Sally. We don't know how far that's gonna go. We did Lady B's show.
That's right.
We started off with I Got a Girl Named. It looked like a fight was about to
yeah. And I got that on video.
That's exactly how it went. When y'all come on with that song, it's crazy, man.
No, it looked so crazy. Like, for the people who didn't know what was going on, it was so amazing to them because they couldn't understand the level of the craze.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying is that we don't know how far. The one thing I will say that we were taught as we were coming up, Wise is my witness on this, when we were performing and we were learning how to perform and we were doing contests and stuff, we were always taught, don't limit whatever you do. You know, if you performing for 10 people, you perform like you performing in Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You keep
But
it up.
So by the time we got to the garden, it was on and popped out, boy.
Now check this out, fellas. Check this out. When y'all do perform, let's just say y'all have a show coming up soon or this summer. Will y'all still perform Sally and the rest of those songs, even though everybody is not really together? Will y'all still do those songs?
Of course.
I mean, we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem with any of it because the members that are missing, we're not missing any lyrical content from them.
Okay.
You know, we just did 2 sold out shows in Brooklyn in August, and we performed 3 new songs, and we still did Sally, and we still did Talking All That Jazz, and we still did a few other things, and it was great.
Yeah, Go Stats. We still do everything. Yeah.
That's, I mean, yeah, we good right now. Like, I don't even understand the level of good. I think I might have had a conversation with Bobby about this. Some of the chemistry that's going on between him and Paul, and kind of this whole MD way of putting this music together, this backing music when we perform, it's really tight right now. Like, it's very tight. Like, it sounds, you know, and I mean, you know, like I said, man, we sound whores, man. We sound hogs. We idiots about sound. Like, that's what Bobby was just mentioning, Bob Coulter. Like, we are the guys that when you get in a stadium and you hear us, we want you to be like, yo, you hear that shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gotta be, we go for dynamics, or we have done that from the beginning of our career.
Yeah.
We went for dynamics. I'm telling you, we go for the. We go for.
They know. They should know that. DC should know that because remember when they put the plug on us and we kept playing and the people in the balcony was like,
or they poured the plug on you?
They put the plug and turned the lights up, like, cause we went over somebody's time, but we kept going. The people in the balcony was doing that. Yo, Frup is
Wow, yeah, y'all got it, man. Y'all ain't never lose it, man.
You said the man Chuck D and them said, yo, we going on after Stet. Then Ice T was like, we going on after Public Enemy.
Yeah. How long do it take the crew to take y'all to write a song?
Not that
Oh man, I mean, I think it's what Wise said, right? So let's just say we get some music in, we all get the music at the same time because we got like a thread where we can send each other music and stuff, or
Okay.
send it to the thread and then everybody could get that music. And if Wise feel like writing, he might write to it. If I feel like it right then, I might finish it. You know what I mean? Or finish where it go, or you send it to D and D finish. So it really depends on the song, man. It's all case by case. I mean, some
Yeah.
things are written in one sitting, you know,
Okay.
but that's not. I wouldn't take it as a commonality, and the only reason I would take pride in not being a commonality because I think sometimes you do have to write some stuff and throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you got to see what don't work, right? I don't think that you do
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I just did this. Oh, this has got to be dope just because I said, no, don't. You might have missed it. You know what I mean? And so I think that within itself it plays out pretty well. But yeah, sometimes conceptually that thing could be so tight that it's not that difficult to write the song.
Wow.
Other times the songs may be a little bit more complicated, or you want the song to feel a little bit more in depth, and it take a little bit of time to kind of carve it out. So it really is, again, man. I hate to keep saying it, but it's really a case by case basis.
Okay. Well said, man. Yo, Wise, tell me about a time when y'all was performing, man, and things didn't really go right, but y'all still had to push through. How did y'all manage to get through it?
Okay, I'm gonna bring up something. Even before we started making records, I, Daddy,
I know
you
where
know
you're
what I'm talking.
going. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. I know where
I,
We gotta hear that one.
yo, one time, right? One time we was doing Harlem Week. You know what I'm saying?
How many
Harlem Week.
people, Wise? How many people,
Oh,
Wise? How many people?
it was packed.
Hundred
I mean,
thousand folks. Hundred
yeah.
thousand people.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Jam
Go
It
ahead.
packed.
was packed. So at the time, it was me, Daddy, on Delite. You know what I'm saying? So Daddy on Delite, they came out. You know, I didn't come out yet. They came out and they was rapping to a music, you know, from a cassette. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, the cassette gets caught up in the thing and it starts messing up.
Wow, wow,
And
wow,
it
wow.
starts messing up. And the
Mhm.
crowd is like, oh, this
Oh,
and that. You know what I'm saying? Then Daddy was
yeah.
like, hold on. He said, wait a minute. He said, y'all want to see something? We got a surprise for you. We got something for you. He like, yo, Wise, come on out here. The second I came out and dropped the beat, we killed
It
it.
was on. It was on.
We
It
killed
was
it.
on. So y'all got back.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But
what's that.
that's like the best thing that I could remember. You know what I'm saying? That it started off really jacked up because clearly it was jacked up. You know
Wow.
what
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
saying? And you know, and we made up for it at the end. We came together and stuff like that, and we killed it.
Killed
We
it. There
killed
you
it.
go. Wow, that was
Yeah.
dope. How did y'all like performing in Philly? Like, did you ever hear about the After Midnight in
Yeah,
Philly?
yeah, yeah. We did
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
after midnight.
we got money. Charlie Mack
Charlie
got
Mack.
us money at the after midnight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Hey. After midnight, where the first place I seen, I got my money in a brown bag.
Yeah. They used to do that. They used to do that. Yeah, I was kind of young. I was like 9 years old, but I used to sneak down there with my cousins. So, but the Spectrum, I was always down there. I was always down
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
Spectrum. What?
that's a beautiful arena, man. Spectrum is kind of
Yeah,
reminds me a lot of the Garden. It's a beautiful arena.
Yeah.
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 If y'all can
Well,
change,
no, performing in Philadelphia. I mean, Bobby said it a little earlier, but Philadelphia is definitely like a second home to us. They
Yeah.
took to our records really well.
yeah,
To
Lady
this
B.
day, it's memorable to a lot of folks. Some of the songs we made, and it's always been great for us performing in Philly. We never had problems. We never
Yeah,
had problems. We always played to an energetic crowd. Even we had to do like in stores and stuff. Always, Philadelphia loves some. They love some Stetsasonic.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
dope, man. If y'all can change anything today in a rap game, what would it be, man? If y'all can change anything
Anything
about the rap,
today? What?
if y'all can change anything in a rap, like in a rap game today, I'm not gonna say hip hop. I'm just saying in a rap game. If y'all can change anything about rap, what would it be, man?
Hmm.
I don't know about them, but nothing. For me, nothing. I mean, this is music is a growth thing for me. You know what I'm saying? It's a everything that we've all done together and separately. I go back to every project that every one of us has done, and to me, it's a beautiful journey from the '80s to the '90s to 2000, and hip hop was included in all that. I wouldn't change it. For me, I wouldn't change anything. It's a growth. I mean, that's like asking
Hmm.
Quincy Jones, what would you change? What you did music? Quincy be like, everything I've done is beautiful.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about today, like
No,
the
that's what
rap.
I'm saying. I
The,
wouldn't
the,
change nothing.
okay,
I
okay,
wouldn't change nothing because they still gonna catch up. I was ahead of my time. They catch up.
okay. All right. So basically,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, the only thing that I would change, um, is I would make us, meaning me and my peer group, not necessarily my band, because I think my band is already on the right side of history with me on this. I would make us more present. I think the biggest problem with hip hop today is the absence of elders. And I think it's the elders' fault. I don't think it's the kids' fault. And I say it all the time. If Young Thug is not Melly Mel's son, then who is he? He's Kenny Chesney's son? He's Bob Marley's son? He's Pavarotti's son? I mean, no. Even if they're your badass kids, they still your kids.
yeah,
And
But
there ain't
but
nothing we could do about that.
no, you're absolutely right. But that validates same thing. What I'm saying is like because we again, he's like you said, we're the elders. So if I did something in the past and I was ahead of my time, I would hope that I can teach them. Like I don't. We work with young cats today too. When the '90s came in and a lot of the new cats was coming in, I found myself working with Smith and Wesson and MOP and them 1A record. I
yeah,
didn't
that's
look, I didn't look at them and go, nah, yeah, we the cats from the, it was like we were watching what they were doing. They were dope at what they were doing,
right.
and even to this day, I can call Billy and Tech and Steel and them and say, yo, Stet is having a. They'll be like, we're on our way.
Yeah, shout out to MOP. Yeah, all of them,
Yeah,
man. Them was just
Yeah, I
nice, man.
mean, I think, yeah, I think, I don't know. I love who we are, but I love who we are collectively, right? So
no, you're
I'm
right.
loving.
No, what you said, D, you're absolutely right. Don't change
Yeah.
it. Don't think it. You're
No, I'm
right.
not changing it. I'm just saying I love who we are, but I think that we could be better as a family because if grandpa's around and he got mad knowledge and mad pimp game to drop on me and all of that, and he ain't around, then I gotta listen to somebody else that may not know what they talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or a bunch of my friends that me and my friends are all on the same stuff. We all on the same thing.
Hmm.
So, where's the wisdom coming from? That's the whole issue. And then the issue is solidly, the issue is, do you sit there and wait for some young kid to say, hey, OG, I need your wisdom? Or do you inflict yourself into the process?
Uh,
Because I mean that's the options. I mean,
Hmm.
look, these semi kind of weird. It's weird to call Puffy a legend, but they do stuff like that, right? So when you look at their legends, LeBron, Puffy, how these got legends, but whatever, right? When you look at their legends,
Let me tell you something, Playboy.
these, these guys are inserting themselves into the process.
Right.
You understand? Snoop is inserting himself into the process. They're inserting themselves in the process. that is honorable for all the 90s rappers. I love the 90s rappers for that. I love them for that. Because I said, man, these guys don't really let up. Redman's still rapping. They kind of don't let up in their own way. They don't.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I love that about them. Really love that about them. They insert themselves. But I'm talking about us because no disrespect to Q and no disrespect to Snoop and no disrespect to Jada Kiss and no disrespect to Black Thought. But we have wisdom you do not have.
That's right. That's right.
And that's just a fact.
That's right.
Just like Mel has wisdom that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie D's one of my best friends. I talk to Debbie about the old school all the time. Man, she be teaching me stuff. I be like, oh, I didn't see that. Like, you know, I'm looking at it one way and then she telling me what's really going on. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We're missing, man. We're missing in action. We absentee fathers out here. And that's just not a good, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for hip hop because in most cases, we're not going to get another channel. You could dip in the adult contemporary kind of whatever. There's another thing happening right now. This little skating thing is starting to pop. Somebody told me today, Bobby, that the Hanging on the String joint is a skating record.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to hear that, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to hear the album.
But you know, so you got some stuff, but I don't think we're gonna have another opening. I think the opening, the doorway for what hip hop is it is what it is, and the not so much the Grammys, but the what's the BET Awards? Yeah, the BET Awards have kind of proven that, you know, because the BET Awards will do a show and then give Furious 5 an honorary thing, or give Latifah an honorary thing, and show the little. And I just think we need a little more of that, and then we just need a little more presence from us. And it's great to be a legend, if that's what you want to call me. I don't think I am, but anyway, it's great to have that feeling. But I think it's even a greater impact if we can impact them, because I don't think they will reject it. I think they're doing what they think they know how to do.
Okay.
And yeah, sometimes you end up with a Rod Wave or somebody that really, or Moneybag, that really like kind of defines a little sound for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people sound the same. That's true. Don't know one from the other, but it's a few that you could tell, oh, that's him. Like Savage, you could tell it's him right away.
But a lot of them you can't.
But I think that we got to be more involved. Savage, selfish plug, but I think that's where Stetsasonic is headed. I think the Sonic Records gives my fans bragging rights, that they could jump in their car with their teenagers and put this on and say, kids, who is that? That's somebody from my time, you know.
Right.
But it don't sound old. I said, no, because they just put it out.
Right.
You know? But that's what I want. I need mothers and fathers that are my fans that have bragging rights. And I believe, another shameless plug, I believe they have that with this next single.
You've mentioned
hard. It's hard to deny. Yo, it's hard to deny them rhymes on Here We Go Again, bro.
I want to hear the album. I do. And you've mentioned, you said you wouldn't call yourself, I say the group. You said you wouldn't call yourself a legend, right? But you had to think about this. When hip hop, when y'all was out, y'all made people feel good when them records was playing. You know, you don't get that same feeling today. So I believe that the higher ups or whoever it may be, they should recognize Stetsasonic and give you guys awards and all types of stuff like that.
I think so too. But I think okay. Let's talk about Stetsasonic. Nobody loves Stetsasonic more than me. But that's a
You said nobody loved more than you?
Critical. That's the word. That's a critical conversation to not only have with Stetsasonic, but to a lot of my peers. You know, why you stop?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You have a round table with all of us. Everybody gonna have a different answer. But the why you stop part is the tough part because the continuance would have created something else. So you have to predicate on the comeback. Not a bad thing, but you got to be clear with it because you didn't have a continuance. Because you gotta. It's like getting locked up and then going for a job interview, and you got some great accolades before you got locked up.
That's right.
And then they say to you, "What happened to all this time?"
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? What happened to all that time? What was you doing all that time? So, you know, it's a thing we have to live with. We have to live with that. We really do. I'm talking about us 80ers, like 80 rappers. Even though I know we moved into the 90s, 80s rappers, we have to live with that. And if you're fortunate, like LL or Latifah or some of the other people, then you're fortunate, right? You could do other things to support yourself. You're still in the public eye. Make a record if you want to. If you don't have to, Hollywood's paying more than that, so who cares? But those are exceptions to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not everybody. Everybody ain't on TV. Eric B just made it on TV a little bit on Blue. You know, smaller role, but you know him and Mark Wahlberg was cool, so he's on. You know what I mean? But that ain't. Come on, man. That's a whole nother thing right there. You see what I'm trying to say? On the music.
No, go finish, D.
Yeah, just the music. You know, there's an importance in it. There's an importance in putting it out. There's an importance in people knowing that if Daddy-O, if Wise, if Bobby Simmons, if Stetsasonic is your heroes, I think it's important for you to know your heroes are putting out music.
That's right. And that's where you come in, Tommy. You get out there and you get on your horn. You be like, let me tell y'all something. Show Stetsasonic some respect. Because y'all wouldn't know nothing about Africa if Stetsasonic would have said, hey, yeah,
Listen, hey, Gola, listen. When I heard that song, I'm telling you now, I never knew about those those countries like that
That's right.
until y'all started singing it. And I knew the whole verse. I knew the whole, like, almost the whole song. Africa and Gola. I know a bunch of that.
That's right.
That's where's it at, man. And that's what I'm saying.
Your wife.
Yeah.
Come on, why? Give us something. Why?
Well, I'm more of a rapper now. I mean, I do the beatbox once in a blue, but now I've as a rapper I've grown a whole lot and stuff. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've grown a whole lot and stuff. Right now, I'm 57 years old, but I'm at my prime now as a rapper, the way I was in '86 as a human beatbox.
Wow.
Yeah, right. But you sure play a hell of a beatbox, though, boy.
Wow. And out of all the records y'all made, the Full Gear, Blood, Sweat, and No Tears, what's the other one? Blood, Sweat,
On Fire.
On Fire. Do y'all have a favorite album between those three?
Ooh. Really hard for me. It's hard for me. It's hard. It wasn't until the last few years. Pandemic happened. Right before the pandemic, went overseas. I met a bunch of people that was introduced to Stetsasonic from the third album. And so I went back to revisit it and felt really good about it. So it's easy for me. I think the cop out answer is In Full Gear, right? That's the cop out answer.
In Full Gear. Okay.
You know what I mean? On Fire's the debut, but In Full Gear had the, all the meat potatoes, biscuits, all of that, right? But I just don't. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
With me,
Mhm.
I honestly, I gotta say our debut album, On Fire.
On
You
fire.
know, because it's so raw. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? We were just starting. We were hungry.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And you can hear it throughout every cut on that album. You know, our hunger. You hear it
Mhm.
in every cut. You hear how hungry we were. You know
Wow.
what I'm
Okay.
saying? So with that, I mean, in Full Gear, we grew up a little. You know what I'm saying? We grew up, we
Right.
expanded with the music and stuff. But I just love the hunger of the first album.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay. So yeah, that's dope, man.
You know, cause
And for
and the thing about it, you know, cause I haven't listened to I haven't listened to all three of the albums like that. But one day I was listening to On Fire, and I'm like, wow. I said this album, the way the way the music and stuff is, the beats, the way the rappers was rapping and stuff.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The hunger, just the hunger, and then the rawness of the beats and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And scratches and everything. Because nowadays, we faded away from, the music nowadays faded
Yeah,
away from all that. You know what I'm
yeah. From
saying? But
scratch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that album right there is classic.
Wow, man.
Classic. There's not going to be another On Fire.
Nah, it won't. No, you're right about that.
I couldn't
That's a different
decide.
kind of record. I mean, I like On Fire because I like what we did on it. Um, I like uh Info because of the way we matured on it.
Yeah,
And I like Blood, Sweat, No Tears because of the way we expressed it. Um, it felt real hodgepodgey when we were doing it, but then when you listen to it as a collective piece, I mean, there's some pure fire on Blood, Sweat, No Tears. Like, and there's some
Yeah.
crazy like t-shirt lines on there, some crazy t-shirt stuff. You know, like when I say t-shirt lines, I mean like that one line or them two lines that you could take and throw on the t-shirt. You know,
wow.
and so
That's dope.
yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if I could choose one. I don't know. Maybe I go in and out, but I don't know if I could really choose